Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Tier 1 here in SKG Sim Racing. And I have I have one job, and it's gone wrong. Sorry for the little cock up there, guys. But anyway, welcome back to Tier 1. It is round 3, and we are in the very, very fast street circuit of Jeddah here this evening. 27 corners make up I think it's a... Hang on. I know my good friend GB Sanson, who is not joining us today in the commentary box. It is just going to be me, so the man that usually hear in the background of GB commentating. Yeah, it's me on the comms. And if you're watching Tier 2 early, you may think, oh, I recognise that voice. Yes, I agreed that I would do Tier 2 and Tier 1 on the same day. My poor voice, by the end of this, will probably be absolutely destroyed, but I will do my best for you guys, because, yeah. But yeah, here in Jeddah for round 3, and we have our championship leader Parker, after finishing in, I think it was P2 last week in Monza. He did take P2 away from Venzi on the final lap, which was, if you haven't watched it, it got very good to the end, did Monza, and yeah, what's this face? AMS Nardu taking the win in Italy as an Italian driver. Absolutely phenomenal job from him. So yeah, discussing Parker. I have some statistics with me. Yeah, if he races, if he does, well, he is racing tonight, so that's that stat out the window. It is his 40th race start in Tier 1, and if he scores points, it'll be his 27th consecutive points appearance, shall we say. So Parker, very, very consistent driver, and well, he's the championship leader, and yeah, he's hoping for another fantastic result this evening. As we are just watching Balazs, as he is on his first lap of the session. Pole time earlier on today, should I say, was a 26.2, and that was set by Mr. What? I think it was Lufu in Tier 2. He set a 26.2 on the for the pole. So we have to see what our pole time will be here this afternoon, or here this evening, I should say. And I've just realised we've completely cocked that up. It's actually Lucci's we're watching, and not Balazs. Apologies for the confusion. I think Balazs is actually on a lap just ahead of him, though. So yeah, we'll watch the Hungarian as he finishes off his lap. He has Alpine ahead of him, who sits a bit. Oh, and that's going to get a bit tight there, and that was not good from whoever that was. Yeah, that was a bit messy there. But Balazs round the final corner, up to the line he comes, and does a 26.9, but that Alpine really did get in his way. We'll have to try and find out who that was. I think that might have been, it was either Trosh or Vaso. It would have been Steven Vaso. Yeah, a little bit of a muddle up there. Then Panos comes over the line, does a 26.7. Still 5/10 off our Tier 2 pole, but I'm sure when we get really going, though, that time will be absolutely obliterated. As one thing to note, there we go, Parker slots in on his first lap of the session. Championship leader going into tonight with that lovely pink helmet. I must say, I am a fan of that colour. Yeah, only a 10th behind the Tier 2 pole time. I expect we are going to see a 25 here this evening. Sausage Joe comes over and does a 26.6, 3/10 behind. Tom Campbell, lovely lap from the Aussie. He's either Australian or New Zealand or Kiwi. I want to say he's Australian, as there we go. There we go. We have beaten the Tier 2 pole time by half a second. Oliver Knott in the Red Bull. Wow, that is a lap. That is a fantastic lap. On the opening lap of the session for him. Absolutely lovely from the Red Bull. Esko Kalevi slots into P2 on a 26.2, and then Steven Vaso goes into the 25s on a 25.9. But yeah, Oliver Knotts, the man that shares the same first name as me. Man, if only I was as quick as him, maybe I'd enjoy playing this game. However, we digress. We have SKG Venzi, or AMS Venzi, should we say now, on a lap, but he has invalidated, so we will not focus on him. Portuguese Beast, man who claims to be a beast. Let's see if that he has any that beast inside of him tonight. That is so cringe. As up to the line he comes, he goes into P5 on a 26.3. Who else have we got? So we've got Amos Nardu. Yes, last week's winner. Let's have a talk about him. So he became... Oh no, I've got everyone going in chat now. He's a beast in bed, beast inside of him. Oh god, what have I begun? So yeah, a few stats for AMS Nardu that my good friend GB Sanson has left me after he has abandoned me this afternoon, or this evening, shall I say. If Nardu takes pole position here tonight, he will equal the most consecutive poles record of all time here in SKG. And, fun fact, yeah, I got a lot of fun facts up my sleeve this evening, guys. Pre-prepared. Oh god. Next fun fact I'll pull out is that Balazs has a 12-inch strap-on. Oh, that one slipped out. Whoopsie. So yeah, so if Nardu wins here tonight, he will be the first Italian to win consecutive races. After obviously winning in Monza, which was absolutely glorious. Winning in front of the Tifosi. Anyway, we're getting distracted by fun facts here, and we're going to focus on what's really going on. We have Just Ali, who was earlier this afternoon in the Red Bull here in Tier 2, but he is now in the Ferrari, and he goes into P12 on a 26.9. That's a Red Bull. Is that starting a lap? I think that is Venzi, who's just come out of the pit lane. And here we go. We have Trosh, who is reserving here in the Alpine this evening. The Estonian in the blue and pink car. See how he goes for what will be his first lap of the session. Someone just jumped up there. I think that might have been Lucci's. It was, because he had no time on the board. So Lucci's going into P10 on a 26.969. Very nice. As Trosh is round the long left-hander, as he has a bit of oversteer and taps the wall there. That would not have gained him any time at all, although it did look very cool. Thankfully, he is still in the session. As he's running down now the... I don't know, I can't say DRS straight, apart from that the long one. Or the main straight, shall we say. No DRS straight is straight around here. They're all bent. As Trosh is round the final corner. Red light is flashing, so is he going to come into the pit lane? No, he's taking the shortest run to the line. And this is only P16 for Trosh. Just ahead of Nahir Basara, who we will say has, after last week's result in Tier 2, he earned himself a promotion up to Tier 1. So this is his home now. The Swede, after having some fantastic performances in Tier 2, winning a few races, I'm pretty sure, or just being completely up there. He has earned himself a promotion that I'm sure he didn't want to himself, but here he is, the Swede, Nahir Basara. Yeah, he is a Tier 1 driver now, so we'll keep an eye on his progress this evening. Few cars out on outlaps, just going for what will be their second run of qualifying. So we have Oliver Knott, the man that's currently sitting on provisional pole on a 27.9, 25.9, should we say? He is on an outlap, and well, I think we have to ride on board with him. Well, maybe even Stephen Basso who has just begun his lap. So we've got these two guys, the only two in the 25s, are just beginning their laps. Well, one of them has started, and one of them is about to begin. As he's flat the whole way through that sector. That was incredible to listen to. As he is a 10th up actually on his personal best through the first sector is Stephen Basso. So while Oliver Knott does his thing, keep an eye on the Ukrainian driver. As he's, oh God, he's throwing his Alpine through the corners there. That was, I had to take a step back, honestly. Felt like he was about to fly into the commentary box with that one. As let's see his sector as he's three. Oh wow, we may see a lightning lap here coming from the Ukrainian driver. He's 3.5 tenths up on what already is a fantastic lap on a 25.9. So here we go then into the final corner with the Ukrainian. Flicks it into the left, runs it out very wide to the wall, almost gets a touch, and he will take the shortest run to the line. Opens the DRS. What will the time be for him? And it's a 25.5, puts him onto provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. Oliver Knott actually equaling his time through the first sector into the second sector. He's actually down by 27 milliseconds. So the Red Bull isn't actually going as fast as Stephen Basso just was. But let's see, will he continue the lap, or will he actually opt to come into the pit lane if he knows he isn't going to improve? As that lovely liveried white Red Bull pair. Yeah, I've had a stroke saying that, Christ. As he comes over the line and does improve just gradually by, I think that was 53 milliseconds. So, yeah, Oliver Knott going to have to do one more run if he wants to eclipse the time of Stephen Basso, who has thrown down a marker for the others to chase. As Amos Nardu, as we were just saying, he talking about his pole positions, if he takes a pole, it's equaling the consecutive record, I believe. Something along those lines. So Nardu goes into P4, lovely lap, just behind Tom Campbell, who we didn't actually mention. So lovely lap from the Racing Bulls. And his teammate, Mr. Parker, who actually is finishing a lap. Let's watch Parker as he comes across the line, as he slots into 5th, as he does improve by literally 0.3 of a second, and jumps up behind Nardu by 9. Well, what's that? Yeah, 9 milliseconds between Parker and Nardu. The two from, well, the three, shall we say? Whereas, yeah, this is the top three from Monza are now sitting 4th, 5th, and 6th with those guys. They were a dominant force in Monza. They just pulled away from everyone else, and yeah, it was a fantastic race to watch from our point of view. Panos, we haven't mentioned yet. He is sitting in P11 for the moment, ahead of drivers like Sausage Joe. So yeah, we are currently in the crossover period, I say, for qualifying, where drivers are finishing laps and coming in and waiting for the final bit. Top 4 all going to DNF in the race, not Tom actually. Wild prediction there from Mr. Risbo. But everyone else will. Okay, well, Risbo predicts everyone in the race will DNF, apart from Tom Campbell. I think he's a fan of Tom Campbell. But yeah, we just have Parker, the only man out on track, and he is slowly making his way back to the pit lane, so he can get on a fresh set of boots and go again. Obviously, he will want to be ahead of Nardu, as Nardu is his current direct championship rival, along with Venzi. Venzi is I think, sitting 3rd in the standings as of right now. Yeah, there we go. We have first car on the outlap with 2 minutes 40 remaining. Parker does actually have to be quick here. He needs to get his tyres and go. 2 minutes 30 left in the session. We will see probably a lot of drivers coming out now. And Risbo's favourite driver, Tom Campbell, is one of the drivers out on the circuit at the moment. As yeah, we see everyone coming out on outlaps now. This is it. This is crunch time. Can anyone beat Stephen Vaso? Which I think they can. It's who. It is the question of who. Who will be the driver to step up and eclipse what is already a fantastic lap time from Stephen Vaso. One man that I'm sure will want to is this man who set the early pace of a 25.7. But we'll have to watch and wait and see. As everybody on the circuit is currently out on an outlap. That is something a sight to behold. I think, you know what, we're going to get rid of the tyres because we know everyone's going to be on the softs. That gives us a bit more room to have a look at the of the cars going around. It'll be Trosh, the first man to start the final laps here in qualifying here in Tier 1, round 3, round Jeddah. With the Estonian to set the pace. Not that he's going to be on pole, but you never know. But we kind of do know already. But yeah, have faith-ish. But I think one man, well, two men we should keep an eye on is these two. Oliver Knott, the man in the Red Bull, looking to take pole away from the Ukrainian. Can he do it? We'll know in about a minute and a half. You know what? Let's go on board with him. He's out of turn 2, slides the rear into the blind turn 4, runs over the curb on the right hand side. We've got a double left-hander coming up, and then we go double right, then we go back to the left, and then we can straighten out the car and settle down for about 5 seconds, well, a little over 5 seconds as he is up. He is up by almost 0.2 of a second in that first sector. Epic first sector from the yeah, I'm not going to try with that flag. Boy. Alright. As he's, yeah, through the middle sector now as qualifying has finished. And Trosh goes over the line and goes P14. So the man that started his lap first, Oliver Knott, is 0.2 up on this time. So Oliver Knott is right in contention here with the pole time. He just needs to have a fantastic final sector, which all it is nailing that braking zone into turn 27, which he's coming up to now. And behind on circuit, what is Stephen Vaso doing? We don't know his sector times until he will cross the line, but this is the fight. This is the car we need to keep an eye on. Vietnam. Okay, he's... yeah, thankfully I don't do geography. As over the line comes Oliver Knott, and he beats Stephen Vaso, but only a small margin. But can Stephen Vaso actually get this? He's up on his time but not much. Here comes the Alpine. Can he take pole away? Can he do it? He does. Takes it away by over 1/10 of a second. Stephen Vaso is on pole unless someone can deny, and Parker is up by about 1.3 tenths, but he isn't valid, so it will not be Parker. Parker will be at least 5th here today, or will it be even lower with Venzi coming over the line now? Can he get ahead of Parker? Yes, he will. He will get ahead of Nadu, his countryman, and Parker. So Venzi slots up into 4th, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying is already done. We didn't get a chance to see anyone else apart from Vaso and Oliver Knott. He is British. Okay, I honestly thought he was with a name like Oliver Knott. But, yeah, okay. So there we go. Stephen Vaso on pole position for round 3. Yeah, wow. That got exciting to the end. So Stephen Vaso and Oliver Knott in the league of their own, because behind there was a nearly half a second gap to anyone else. So these two will put on a show. Well, they're both in VNT actually, so they'll put on a show for us. I'm confident. I hope so anyway. It can't be anything more boring than Tier 2 earlier, honestly. But yeah, there we go. That is the grid set for Tier 1, and they'll be racing very, very shortly. Anyway, get your predictions down in the chat. We love a good prediction, especially from Keynesen. Furries to be rising in Nam, and you know what a knot is. Oh my fucking god. That is that's crazy. Burb says I predict a Lou DNF. Okay. Oh, this should be a good one. I hope it's a good one. We're going to just give me a DRS train for $5. Well, we're about to find out if this race is going to be any more exciting than Tier 2, as lights are on for Tier 1, and we're good to go. Here we go then. Get all our telemetry up, and the top two decided to go onto the hard tyres. It's going to be Oliver Knott up the inside of Stephen Vaso. Will he push him wide? They'll remain on the track as behind them, like 2x2x2, as they are. Yeah, they're still going side by side, as it looks like Oliver Knott has managed to get ahead for the moment. Behind Amos, yeah, Venzi's managed to jump against Tom Campbell, as they're going to go side by side through the first sector. Is that a safety car? We have a safety car! At last! At last! Safety cars do exist in SKG. I didn't think they ever existed. Wow. Safety car out already. And we hadn't even got to the second sector yet. That is crazy. Thank God for that safety car protecting our marshals. Absolutely, Burb. Well said. Oh, God. But yeah, Portuguese Beast without a front wing, so you have to assume maybe his front wing coming off has caused that. But let me just... Still unreduced. So that must have been a hefty coming together with a few drivers for it to call out a safety car. But there we go then. Race neutralised with what will be probably a lap and a bit. Yeah, top two opting to go onto the hard tyres, and as well as Amos Nardu and Amos Callum, as well as Krabs and obviously Portuguese Beast, who unfortunately for him will have to put onto the mediums. So yeah, it's kind of a not a great start for the Haas driver, unfortunately, who will have to come into the pit lane. Yeah, that was a fantastic start between Oliver Knott and Stephen Vaso. Stephen Vaso maybe just getting a little bit bogged down on the hard tyres, allowing Oliver Knott to just steam up his inside, and yeah, got the place done. Lovely, lovely move from the Red Bull. And yeah, he is up into the race lead from second place. Got the launch he wanted and got the position he wants by the end of this race. Oh no, the voice is already giving in. Oh no. Please hold it together. We're only on lap 2 out of 25. Hold it together, boys, please. We got a lovely camera angle going around the long left. Let's have a look at the positions gained then. Who is up the most? Well, we have a few drivers up 2 places, including Nahir Basara, Sausage Joe, Krabs is up 2, Amos Callum and Panos are up 2, and then Venzi up 1, Oliver Knott up 1, and unfortunately for Portuguese Beast, he is down 9. So unlucky for the lubricate that shit. Yeah, someone squirt down there, please. I'll keep my mouth open. Someone squirt some liquid down there. I just realised how fucking bad that didn't even notice it sounded bad. And I said it. And I realised. Fantastic. Incredible. Oh, God, right. As the safety car is out for one more lap, so it will be the beginning of lap 4, I would assume, as Bilius has... I'm not going to try and pronounce his second name, just for my own safety. He has come into the pit lane, and will he go on to a set of hards? Yes, he will. So it was a wise decision from the... I honestly don't know his nationality, but wise decision from the Mercedes to even pit on lap 3 to go onto the hards. Made the joke for it. Thanks. Oh, I'm gonna get clipped. So yeah, safety car should be in this lap with Bilius and Portuguese Beast both being up to the back of the field. So we shall get properly underway, hopefully, at the end of this lap. We have some kerfuffle going on back here. Two harsh drivers changing position. Portuguese Beast going past PW Jones under safety car, so a little bit of confusion. There we go. Message from race control. Safety car in this lap. So it'll be Oliver Knott to dictate when we go back to green flag racing and when we go back to proper racing speed. We'll go on board with Oliver Knott and we'll have a look back. We have to hear when the Red Bull decides to punch it and get us back to racing here on lap 3. We start lap 4. Slowly waiting. He leaves it really late, and there he goes. He's got a pretty decent getaway. Stephen Vaso is not alongside or close enough to be and make a move as we go into turn 1. As look behind, that is a kerfuffle and a half. As drivers are going side by side everywhere. Esko Kalevi and Parker are going side by side. Parker cannot risk having it coming together here or losing points this early on in the championship, as Venzi and Tom Campbell have locked wheels. This could end really badly as Venzi is the wall, and has a bit of a half spin, but stays okay for the moment. So he drops down behind Esko Kalevi and Nardi, who managed to sneak through. So Venzi from what was 4th down to 6th now after that little bit of a kerfuffle between him and Tom Campbell. Hopefully no damage on the Red Bull. It looks like his front wing is okay. Yeah, it seems like there's already... Oh, I've got the wrong gap on. Yep. That was smart. As was that Parker looking on a move? I think that was, yeah, Amos Venzi going for a move on Esko Kalevi. That was very audacious, as he is going to go for it here at turn 25. And he gets it done. I think that was turn 25. So that would have been turn 24, 25, 26. Yeah, there we go. We're okay. All the numbers. Behind Parker is very close as Esko Kalevi is going to try and come back at the Italian here in the Red Bull. Going to try and look around the outside as Parker looks up the inside while that is going on. He cannot get the run on the Red Bull as Parker's going to try and get 2 and 1 as he goes all 4 wheels off the circuit. Is that going to be an illegal overtake? And yes, it is. You can hear him feathering off the throttle, and he's going to lose more positions as Ethan Quigley comes through out of nowhere and is going to try and get Venzi as he goes wide. As they're almost going 3 wide here. This is great racing. You'd love to see it as ahead. I think Tom Campbell and Nardi were battling as the bottom 2 are in the pit lane. Portuguese Beast and Bilius. Yeah, Ethan Quigley getting past Parker, who's now down to P9. So Parker, unfortunately, with having that off the track overtake, has lost more positions than he hoped to have gained. So, and he's behind Balash now, so Balash moving up to P8. Yeah, crazy battles indeed, yeah. Absolutely love watching this already, and we're only in lap 5. This is phenomenal stuff. As DRS, yeah, is enabled this lap, so we are DRS racing, and hopefully not DRS training. What is our closest battle? I think it might be between Nadu and Tom Campbell. Have a look down the field. It looks like it's actually going to be Parker and Balash. Yeah, Balash being overtaken by Parker around the outside. Oh, easy move for the Racing Bulls. As he regains a position that he lost, unfortunately, by Penis P16. Funny. Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about what Rizbo just said. Williams positions, yeah, kill yourself. Anyway, get back to it and not get distracted by where the Williams are currently sitting. Yeah, look at this little battle we have here. We have Stephen Vaso falling back a tiny bit from Oliver Knott. And he is, yeah, we have a bit of a train forming as Tom Campbell. He's got damage actually on his right-hand side front wing. No, left-hand side front wing. So will this affect him in the long run as Nadu is closing? Well, he's not actually. I said that as he then wasn't. As Nadu is closing now, and he's probably on the battery, and he's got the slipstream and the DRS. Can he make a move? As it looks like Tom Campbell has got it covered for the time being. In the background, have we got any other moves going on? We have got Ethan Quigley looking up the inside of his teammate Esko Kalevi, but a little bit too far behind to make a move. As Nadu, is he going to go for the move here? It looks like he's got the speed and the run. I think he will get this third place done, but Tom Campbell lay on the brakes, going for the move on Stephen Vaso out of nowhere. I think Vaso got very surprised by that. He thankfully did leave the door open a tiny bit as Nadu, yeah, stays in fourth. Well, that was a shock dive from Tom Campbell, even going for second place there. I don't even think he expected to be going for that move, but yeah, it almost paid off for him, but stays in third position, and I think this is where he really loses his time through that first sector with that wing damage. In the background, you see there's a whole group of cars following Tom Campbell, who you have to say has already got one hand tied behind his back with that front wing damage, but still running in third, so he's still doing a great job with the damage that he does have. But obviously he's in that DRS, so it's helping him be pulled along. As if there are going to be a move between Portuguese Beast, no, that's not Portuguese Beast, Ethan Quigley, shall I say, and Balash. Balash very close behind Williams, who his light is flashing. Will Balash go for a move here? Thinks about the outside, but the way through for the time being for the Hungarian. As actually it looks like he will get the move here. He's got a fantastic run, and out of the final corner goes Balash, and yeah, absolutely streams his way past. And look at this group we've got here. It's a full lobby, I must say, of 20 drivers. You can see them all in one frame. As who's that going inside? Tom Campbell. Oh, Tom Campbell, this is what we were talking about him. Must have had some sort of moment as he's down to 13th. Oh, Rizbo, your favourite driver. I'm sorry. I think we have a fan of Oliver Knott. As Villiers is going to be our first retirement of the evening, retiring in the pit lane, so that will be no safety car interventions being needed. I got the hint, a hint that you might enjoy Tom Campbell. I'm saying that everyone else is going to DNF apart from him. Might have been hinting at something, but, you know, I'll keep your secret. Anyway, Amos Nardu, man, sitting second in the standings, ahead of his 2 championship rivals, and crucially, on the hard tyres, the same as the 2 cars ahead of him, so that it's an equal playing field ahead of him, as Nahir Basara has got past just Ali. As Venzi, going into turn 1, as he taps Nardu! Amos Venzi taps his compatriot and almost sends him into a spin. That was almost very scary for Amos Nardu. The 2 AMS drivers coming to blows. Thankfully, still facing the right way is the Italian. But still, that was almost very bad. And thankfully, he stayed within the DRS of our top 2. And Tom Campbell, there we go, coming out of the pit lane, decided to get his wing changed. And what the fuck have I just seen? That was a pit exit and a half. Alright. There's. Yeah, we'll move on. Is that allowed? Or is that illegal? I'm not entirely sure what the rules are with that. Because I feel like every league has different rules to do with that. Illegal? Oh wow. I'm so sorry, Oliver. Tom Campbell, I think I might have just shot you in the back. Oh well. As Amos, Callum and Schrosh are battling for what will be P12. Looks like Callum has managed to get ahead, but here comes Krabs up the inside. The Krabs going to take the position away from Schrosh. Up at the front, the gaps are stabilising. Not much battling going on here as we are on lap 10, so maybe some pit stops are coming. And as just as we say that, Luchis and Irie Trosh are into the pit lane to get onto off the mediums and go onto the hard tyres, which will take them to the end. At the Brit, Oliver Knott out in the lead by 0.6 of a second from the Ukrainian of Stephen Vaso. And then behind, you can see a few cars, a couple of seconds behind these two. With the championship leader Parker in P6 for the time being, following Esko Kalevi. As Esko Kalevi is now not within the DRS of the car ahead. So Esko Kalevi maybe a sitting duck here to Parker, the American in the V-carb. Oh, he has managed to snag the DRS actually from AMS Venzi. So the Finnish driver managing to stay within that DRS for the time being, with staying with the Red Bull. But will any of our medium runners come into the pit lane here? It looks like Venzi will do it, as well as the 2 cars behind, Parker and Esko Kalevi. Will any of them speed into the pit lane? So they've all done a good job at keeping within the speed limit. No 10-second penalties going on there, as it looks like Nahir Basara was looking for a move on Sausage Joe into turn 1, but he was too far behind for the time being. As we completely missed it, as we sometimes seemingly always do, no matter what tier we're commentating, as there's been a change of lead. Stephen Vaso is now the race leader, with Oliver Knott for the first time in the race, falling down to P2. So with our front three all staying out on their hard tyres, you wouldn't expect them to pit until maybe lap 16 or 17. It is who will pit next off the mediums, obviously with Sausage Joe and Nahir Basara, just Ali, and Panos Veras still on the mediums. And Panos, wait, what? Panos missing half his front wing. Oh wow. Panos, yeah, having a time and a half. Missing a good portion of his front wing. Yeah, his whole nearly whole left-hand side. And he's still circulating. So Panos Veras is soldiering on, but he's going to be losing quite a lot of time with that, unfortunately, for the Greek. But will anyone pit here? Sausage Joe, will he stay out or will he come into the pit lane? He's going to stay out, but here Basara behind is going to go for the undercut on him as he... What the fuck? As Krabs is retired, Krabs decides that he's done for the day. Okay. But I don't know what the hell happened there to here Basara. He stopped on the pit entry. I guess it forced him to stop, I'm not sure why. As Panos Veras has come into the pit lane now, and he is getting his wing change, so Panos... I don't know how on earth he had that wing damage in the first place, but he will now have a fresh one. And will have the pace on the fresh hards. He did have enough. He had enough to keep him going in the right-hand corners. Those left-hand corners now, he was done. Is that Williams net 1-3? It might be, you know. Yeah, 2-3 now, yeah. With Venzi overtaking Ethan Quigley, who's... Well, he's going to have the DRS here. Will he actually be able to go for a move on Venzi? He was thinking about it, but decides better of it to go for the next overtaking point, which is going to be down into the final corner. Ethan Quigley will have the DRS point now. See the rear wing on the Williams. Wide open. Will he be able to go for the move on the Williams? Not on the Williams, on the Red Bull. As Sausage Joe and Just Ali decide that they are now pitting. And Ethan Quigley with his teammate Esko Kalevi just behind. And it looks like he's going to let his teammate go through. But will he be able to let is he going to let Parker go through here? Tom Campbell. So that's the fast lap of the race. As Balash almost, well, kills Parker. So it's now Esko Kalevi's turn to go and chase AMS Venzi and try and get what will be a net race lead for Williams with our front three and obviously AMS Callum yet to pit, but they are on the hard tyres. So as it stands, Venzi is your race leader and Esko Kalevi is in P2. Up at the front, Stephen Vaso is still leading from Oliver Knott, who's fallen back a tiny bit. The gap is at 0.8 of a second, so maybe Stephen Vaso stretching the legs a bit here. But crucially, Nardo is still going with them, so Nardo not giving up without a fight. As they continue on for another lap, starting lap 14 out of 25. The 11 laps to go. So you assume a couple of these guys might start pitting within the next 2 or 3 laps, as Balash has managed to clear Parker. So Parker not having the best of races here, the man that's been consistently in our top 4 throughout round 3, and he's finished first and second in the first 2 races. So it's not been a best day for Parker so far, sitting in P8. Where did he qualify actually? Parker qualified P6. So I think that's the lowest he's been so far this season. Obviously there's still a lot of time left in the race for the American to, the championship leader to gain some more ground. So at the moment he is sitting in net P4 as it stands, with Ethan Quigley after being behind his teammate, he's made some sort of mistake. So he's dropped down behind Balash, Parker and Parker. So Britt making maybe a small error. That's up at the front. Gap still around over half a second. As Vaso out the final corner, there's a little bit of a real slide on the rear. Oliver Knott begins to close in, and let's have a look at the battles. It looks like we're going to have Ethan Quigley getting past Parker, and actually Luchis is going to try and get him too. So there we go, Luchis gets up into P9 and Parker now down to P10. So Parker dropping like a stone. So Parker maybe just not finding the rhythm or the pace around here. We have yet to see a time penalty. That's something I must say, that we have not seen a 3-second time penalty from anyone so far, which is good to see actually. Nice to know that everyone is keeping within the white lines. So yeah, we're on lap 15 out of 25, 10 laps remaining here in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix of SKG Season 16, and here it is Tier 1. Will anyone pit this lap out of our top 4? Top 3 have also decided to stay out. Will AMS Callum come into the pit lane as Oliver Knott has overtaken Steven Vaso, so he's back up into the lead of the race, and will it be go time now for the Red Bull? Will he try and now pull out a gap, use what is left of his hard tyres to then go all in this lap, come into the pits, and obviously go on to the mediums, which will then take him to the end? We'll have to find out in about a minute and a half whether what I said is true or bullshit. As we have a battle for between Nihir Basara and Trosh. That is for P14. As Portuguese Beast has decided that he is coming into the pit lane off of a 11-lap-old medium, so you have to say them tyres will be very dead. Esko Kalevi still following behind AMS Venzi, which will this battle will become the top 2 in the race once the front 4 all come into the pit lane. So Venzi on the 5-lap-old hard tyres, as well as, well, the majority of the cars around him. To go on to no, none of them have actually come into the pit lane as of yet. So they continue for one more time. Will AMS Callum be different? No, he will come into the pit lane, and there you see behind AMS Venzi and Esko Kalevi are catching him at a rate of knots. Gap is only 2.2 seconds as at the moment. I'm sure by the end of the lap, as Ethan Quigley gets ahead of Lucchese. And in the background is Sausage Joe going to go for a lunge on Tom Campbell, as he does, but he doesn't manage to get the position, as there is a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel touch. Thankfully nothing too bad. Lap 17 out of 25. We have 8 laps remaining left in this race. I assume maybe this lap we will see these guys come into the pit lane as Steven Vaso has taken back the lead of the race. And will it be now coming into the pit lane, as he looks like he is going to go for it. Oliver Knott stays out actually, so Oliver Knott decides that he's going for the overcut on Steven Vaso. So Oliver Knott going for a bold strategy, so he will have to absolutely punch it this lap and then come in next lap. What will be his one and only pit stop. Yeah, Steven Vaso onto the medium tyres. And yep, I assumed he was going to teleport there. As here we go, yeah, AMS Venzi. Well, with Oliver Knott deciding to stay out, he's now up into P2. So Red Bull 1-2 as it stands, but that will not be the same, as Steven Vaso just manages to crucially get ahead of Balash out of the pit lane, and we're going to get up the gap to leader. You see it's at 16 and a half seconds, but just watch that gap slowly come down throughout the lap. But now Steven Vaso, the man that was on the on pole position, and lost the lead off the line, going for the first pit stop out of the front two, and Amos Nadu following him in as well, and has stayed with him as well. That is a interesting way of doing track limits for Amos Nadu. As I'm surprised that wasn't a penalty. I'm sure that probably would have been a warning. As Jay Snowy left the session, I didn't even realise he was in here. So Oliver Knott then, he will now pit, and he's up to his Red Bull mechanics as he goes sideways into the pit lane. That was heart and mouth stuff for the British driver. Into the pit lane, onto a set of medium tyres for Oliver Knott, and it'll be his teammate to take the lead, and it'll be Esko Kalevi to go into P2. But where is Stephen Vaso? There we go. Stephen Vaso has passed him, as well as Balash. And who else will get ahead? As we got what is this camera angle? There we go. So Oliver Knott emerges. Let's get the interval back up. About 2 seconds or 3 seconds behind Stephen Vaso. So the undercut has worked for the Ukrainian. Oliver Knott, he's given himself a bit of work to do. As Balash pulls off to the side and I think just lets Oliver Knott go through. I think Balash knows that he's not in his race. As much as Balash would love to fight with the Red Bull, he knows that Oliver Knott is absolutely flying in this race, and well, so he's already got the second within Stephen Vaso. So here we go then. This race is well and truly on. As Stephen Vaso is already going to get Esko Kalevi. So this is, yeah, Stephen Vaso isn't waiting around here, and he's got Venzi up next. And will Nadu be able to get the Williams? Looks like he will for the moment. As here comes Oliver Knott. Will he be able to make a move on the Williams as he goes for a send and a half? And wow, that is a move and a half for Oliver Knott. Granted the tyre advantage between the two cars, but still that was a lovely move from the Red Bull. As Nadu sets the fast lap of the race, as he's now got to deal with his compatriot, the other Italian in the race. Well, Benzi, who's now gone. So then it's going to be Oliver Knott, his teammate. As oh wow, that would have been an interesting place to try and make a move on your teammate there. Will Venzi let Oliver Knott go through? As I think he will, as he turns off the battery, and there goes Oliver Knott through on Venzi. And our front three are now back to where they, well, were come the pit stop cycle. As Oliver Knott on the 1 lap fresher tyres than the two ahead of him. It's his turn to now go and chase down Nadu and Stephen Vaso. And yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this, because I'm hoping this will be a fantastic battle between those guys. As the gaps further down the field, we will have a look at is Tom Campbell and Just Ali, with Parker having dropped now out of the points. So Parker on course for 0 points, and maybe even will be losing the championship lead come the end of this race. I'm not entirely sure if that is the case, but with Nadu up in second place and Parker scoring nothing, you have to say that Parker will, yeah, this isn't going to help his championship hopes. Obviously it's only round 3 out of what is it, 12 races, so still a long way to go in the season, and anything can happen. Gap up the front. The gaps are about half a second between either cars. Behind Amos Benzi, still on for a good haul of points as he's holding off Esko Kalevi for P4. Behind him, Balash looking for a lovely drive there in P6. And Trosh and Nahir Basara are fighting. Looks like Trosh has managed to overtake the Swede. Look at this battle we have here. We have Ethan Quigley holding up a little bit of a train between Saucer Joe, Lucci's, Tom Campbell, Just Ali, and Parker, championship leader in this little train, as Nadu is going for a move on Steven Vaso. He's going to look round the outside, up the final corner. I picked the wrong camera angles. Here we go then. This is the battle for the lead commencing here. Steven Vaso under pressure from Oliver Knott, who they're going to go 3 wide almost over the start finish line, as Oliver Knott is going to look to the outside. He's going to get the move done. Just like that, Oliver Knott is up into the lead again after a fantastic move going for the outside and getting it done, as Nadu is going to get up in second place. But Steven Vaso dives up the inside and pushes Nadu off a tiny bit through turn 4. But wow, that is a bit of action there, ladies and gentlemen, as Trosh has retired. And is that a safety car? Is that a full safety car? I think it is, actually. I think the safety car is out on the circuit on lap 22 out of 25. As Nahir Basara, drive-through penalty for speeding, unfortunately. So that's his race pretty much done and dusted. But yeah, safety car is out, and we're only a lap or so from the end. So yeah, I don't think any of our top guys will come into the pit lane, because they'll lose so much track position. But yeah, so safety car will probably stay out until the end of lap 23, I would assume, because it's going to be a very short safety car with how little laps we have left. Yeah, Trosh causing a safety car late on. But yeah, there is the safety car, so it may only stay out for maybe even 1 lap. And yeah, people are pitting for the soft tyres, so here we go then. This is about to get spicy, with Venzi, Esko Kalevi, Saucer Joe, Lucci, Ethan Quigley going onto the softs for what will be a final lap dash maybe, depending on when the safety car comes in. Yeah, this is going to get good. Oh, I'm rubbing my hands together. This is going to be a spicy ending to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here in Tier 1. Our front 3 on the mediums, and then Balash and Just Ali on the hards, and then behind fresh softs for Venzi and Esko Kalevi. So Risbo, if you're still watching, the driver may do a madness here. I think with those guys still in the mediums, they still will have very good pace. But the guys on the hards, as yeah, safety car is in this lap, so but crucially, the guys on the softs will get caught up, and it'll be 2 laps to go when these guys cross the line, and it'll be a melee, it'll be a brawl. It's going to be cutthroat. Let's do it. As it'll be Oliver Knott for the 2nd time in this race to take us back to racing. As he goes out of the final corner now. So he's going earlier, or later than he did. Well, yeah, earlier than he did earlier. That doesn't make any sense. Here we go. We have to keep an eye on Venzi, who's already got Just Ali. Venzi on the fresh softs. We might as well keep an eye on him, as we know he's going to be the fastest man on the circuit. As Ethan Quigley picks up, well, the first 3-second time penalty of the race. As he's going to try and get the move on Balash round turn 4. Oh my word, Venzi round the outside of Balash off turn 4. That was audacious and a half, but he got it done somehow, and now he has 3 cars between him and what will be his first win of the season. And well, if he wins this, it would have been fantastic. Cool. And why is he slowing down? What is going on? Is there illegal overtakes going on here? As Venti has to let through Esko Kalevi and Balazs, and now loses 2 seconds to our front 3. There's a yellow flag out. There's a car off. Portuguese bit. Oh no, Ethan Quigley's gone off actually. Ethan Quigley on the soft tyres has gone off. So unfortunately for Risbo, it'll be only one driver of his that will be scoring points this afternoon. Yeah, I figured it would probably be an illegal overtake. That was such a weird thing to let him through there, as they are still fighting. As behind, that is a Sausage Joe going for a lunge on, I think that was 2 cars of Just Ali and AMS Callum. As DRS is enabled now, and up at the front, the gap is only 0.2 of a second to Steven Vaso and Oliver Knott. So we do have to keep an eye on this, but the gap behind is just growing because of these guys squabbling. So I think the guys at the front are okay, but Esko Kalevi, I've just noticed, has got some damage on his front wing. But this is the last lap, and the gap up at the front is, well, you can throw a blanket all over all 3 of them. I don't know who to watch. I assume we just keep an eye on these guys, because this is the battle for the lead of the race. Oliver Knott versus Steven Vaso versus Nardu. Nardu looking for his 2nd consecutive win, and it'd be this. Well, that would equal equal a record, or I think winning 2 races. Or I'm not entirely sure what the stat is, but Nardu looking for his 2nd consecutive win in 2 races after winning at home last week around Monza. Oliver Knott, though, he's done a fantastic job so far earlier on the lap to build the gap up to about 0.5 of a second, but Steven Vaso is closing at a rate of knots on Oliver Knott. There we go, the Alpine needs to use everything in his battery now to try and gain on the Red Bull ahead of him. Will he be able to do this on the final corner of the race? He's gaining, he is gaining, he looks for the move. Will he be able to get it done? They're good. Oh my word. It looks like Oliver Knott is going to get the good drive though, but Steven Vaso will have the DRS. It will be a drag race to the line. Who is going to win it here in Saudi Arabia? It's going to be Oliver Knott over the line. What a race that is. Oliver Knott wins from Steven Vaso by a hair, and AMS Nardu finishes on the podium behind AMS Venzi, with the man finishing in 4th ahead of Esko Kalevi. They finish, and then behind Sausage Joe. Wow, what a finish that is. Oh, GB, you've missed an absolute thriller. Yeah, that is a phenomenal race, ladies and gentlemen. That has been amazing to watch as Portuguese Beast crosses the line and does that. Ethan Quigley without a front wing will be over the line in last, as Yao celebrates Aston Martin taking 1 point, with Panos retiring, but that will not matter, as there you go, Oliver Knott is victorious here in Saudi Arabia from Steven Vaso and AMS Nardu on the podium once again here in Tier 1. What a race! What a race! That was unbelievable to watch, as Oliver Knott will get the fastest lap point as well for good measure as well. So yeah, that is our race in Tier 1 done. Unbelievable. Steven Vaso versus Oliver Knott. I could watch that every week. Lovely to watch. And yeah, the 2 Italians, they're in 3rd and 4th. Esko Kalevi in the Williams picking up 10 points for them. Sausage Joe in the Sauber. Sauber taking a good haul of points there, as well as Red Bull. With their drivers in 1st and 4th, and then 3rd and 6th. And then VCarb with Parker managing to come home in 8th after, I assume he went onto the soft tyres as well. But yeah, Parker taking 4 points, which will, I'm not sure about the championship standings, but I'm sure he'll still be leading. But that gap probably will be closing, with Balazs in 9th, AMS Callum in 10th, taking a point for Aston Martin, their first point of the week across all 3 tiers. So yeah, that was that, and with that I will be signing off after what has been a phenomenal week and a phenomenal race. I appreciate all of you guys for sticking here and watching the stream. Well, I think we had a peak of 25 viewers there today, so thank you everyone for tuning in. And from me, Oliver Lewis, it has been a pleasure. And we'll be back next week for round 4, which I don't know what the track is, but you'll find out. Until next week, guys. Catch you in a bit.